What if the most powerful healing drinks on the planet weren't formulated in a lab, but were poured into clay cups thousands of years ago by the healthiest people who ever lived? While we're spending a fortune on protein shakes and detox teas, the Bible was already prescribing specific drinks that modern science is now proving can fight infection, reverse inflammation, and transform your health. These aren't just symbolic beverages, they're functional medicines. Today I'm walking you through the most potent ones, ranked from extraordinary to absolutely life-changing. Number 15 was literally a gift brought to the newborn Jesus, and researchers are discovering it may be one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory compounds ever studied. If you want ancient wisdom backed by modern science, hit that subscribe button on Harvest and Health. Here are biblical drinks that will heal you. 1. Honey Water Elixir, Heaven's Antimicrobial Tonic. A land flowing with milk and honey. Exodus 3:8. The phrase appears over 20 times in Scripture. It wasn't poetry. It was a description of nutritional paradise. The simplest way people consumed honey? Mixed with water. Raw honey contains hydrogen peroxide, a low pH that kills pathogens, and defensin 1, a protein that destroys bacteria, including MRSA. Dissolved in water, it soothes inflamed throat tissue, calms the gut lining, and provides rapid energy without the insulin spike of refined sugar. The critical word is raw. The moment honey is heated past 40 degrees Celsius, the enzymes degrade. Traditional preparation: 1 tablespoon of raw honey in warm, not boiling water, squeeze of lemon, taken first thing in the morning or at the first sign of illness. 2. Yak warm spiced wine, the ancient circulation tonic. Use a little wine for your stomach's sake. 1 Timothy 5:23. Paul's instruction is one of the most direct medicinal prescriptions in Scripture. Ancient wine was lower in alcohol, diluted with water, and infused with cinnamon, cloves, and ginger, transforming it into a medicinal tonic. The polyphenols in red wine, resveratrol, and proanthocyanidins have documented cardiovascular effects. Moderate consumption improves HDL cholesterol and reduces platelet aggregation. Cinnamon regulates blood sugar. Cloves are among the highest antioxidant foods ever measured. Ginger reduces inflammation. The key is moderation. 1 small cup with a meal, diluted and spiced the way people actually drank in the biblical world. 3. A vinegar water, pasca, the soldier's gut drink. They gave him vinegar to drink. Matthew 27:48. Pasca vinegar diluted with water was the standard drink of Roman soldiers. Tough men who needed to stay healthy in unsanitary conditions chose this drink. Apple cider vinegar contains acetic acid with documented antimicrobial properties against E. coli and salmonella. In a world without clean water, vinegar in water was genuine protection against waterborne illness. Modern trials show diluted vinegar before meals measurably lowers post-meal blood sugar spikes by slowing glucose absorption. It also supports beneficial gut bacteria. Traditional preparation: 1 to 2 tablespoons of raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar in water before meals. Add raw honey if the taste is sharp. 4. The pomegranate juice, the antioxidant king. Your temples are like a half of a pomegranate. Song of Solomon 6:7. There were 200 carved pomegranates on the pillars of Solomon's temple. This wasn't decoration, it was a statement about what this fruit meant. Pomegranates contain punicalagins that break down into urolithins, compounds with remarkable anti-inflammatory and potential anti-cancer effects. Clinical trials demonstrate reduced blood pressure, lower LDL oxidation, and reduced inflammation markers including CRP. Fresh pomegranate juice outranks red wine, green tea, and blueberry juice in antioxidant concentration. Traditional preparation: press the seeds fresh and drink immediately. Store-bought works, but look for no added sugar. 5. Goat milk and honey, the probiotic of the promised land. A land flowing with milk and honey. Exodus 3:8. The milk of the ancient Middle East was almost entirely goat's milk, a fundamentally different food than modern cow's milk. Goat's milk has smaller fat globules and a 2-casein rather than the A1-casein that triggers inflammatory digestive responses in many people. Fresh goat's milk is naturally rich in beneficial bacteria, a living probiotic food. Studies confirm it's easier to digest, produces less inflammatory response, and has prebiotic effects. Combined with raw honey, you have a drink that is simultaneously probiotic, prebiotic, antimicrobial, and deeply nourishing. Warm slightly, stir in a tablespoon of raw honey, drink slowly. 6. Barley water, the humble healer. There is a lad here who has 5 barley loaves. John 6:9. Barley was the grain of ordinary people, and they were drinking one of the most therapeutically powerful grain waters ever studied. Barley water concentrates beta-glucan, a soluble fiber so convincingly proven to lower cholesterol that the FDA allows a health claim on products containing it. It forms a gel in the gut that slows glucose absorption, reduces LDL cholesterol, and feeds beneficial bacteria. Barley water outperforms even oat water in its effects on post-meal blood sugar. Traditional preparation: simmer a cup of whole barley in water for an hour. Strain, add lemon and raw honey. Drink warm or cool throughout the day. 7. Fig infusion, the drink of prophets. Let them take a lump of figs and apply it to the boil. Isaiah 38:21. When King Hezekiah was dying from a severe infection, the prophet Isaiah ordered a poultice of figs, and Hezekiah recovered. Figs contain physin, a proteolytic enzyme that breaks down dead tissue and promotes wound healing. As a drink, fig infusion delivers soluble fiber, particularly pectin, that feeds beneficial gut bacteria and soothes intestinal inflammation. Figs are extraordinarily mineral-dense: magnesium, potassium, calcium, and B vitamins. Traditional preparation: steep 4 to 6 dried figs in hot water for 20 to 30 minutes, press to release their natural sugars. Drink with the softened fruit. Add cinnamon for blood sugar support. 8. Mint and hyssop tea, the purification drink. Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Psalm 51:7. Hyssop appears in purification rituals throughout Scripture. For centuries, it was treated as purely ceremonial. Then researchers found the symbolism was built on something real. Hyssop contains carvacrol and thymol, the same antimicrobial compounds found in oregano and thyme. Studies confirm genuine antibacterial, antiviral, and antifungal properties. It inhibits herpes simplex virus. Its expectorant compounds help clear mucus from the lungs. Combined with mint, which relaxes smooth muscle in the digestive tract, you have a tea that works simultaneously on the gut and respiratory system. Traditional preparation: 1 teaspoon dried hyssop and 1 teaspoon mint steeped in boiling water for 10 minutes. Add raw honey. 9. Olive leaf tea, the immune system's ancient guardian. Its leaf will not wither. Its leaf for healing. Ezekiel 47:12. The olive tree is mentioned over 500 times in Scripture. Its leaves, largely forgotten by the modern world, contain one of the most powerful antiviral compounds ever identified in a plant. Oleuropein has been shown to be directly antiviral against influenza viruses, herpes viruses, and retroviruses. It's strongly antibacterial and antifungal, lowers blood pressure, reduces inflammation, and has antioxidant activity rivaling vitamin E. Traditional healers reached for olive leaves when illness came, not the oil. The leaves were the medicine cabinet. Traditional preparation: steep 1 teaspoon of dried olive leaves in boiling water for 15 minutes. Drink 2 to 3 cups daily at the onset of illness. 10. Frankincense water, the gift that healed. They presented to him gifts: gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Matthew 2:11. Frankincense, one of 3 gifts brought to the newborn Jesus. For most of Christian history, treated as purely symbolic. Then, researchers studying boswellic acids found what the Magi brought was one of the most potent anti-inflammatory substances ever identified. A KBA, acetyl 11-keto-beta-boswellic acid, inhibits the inflammatory enzyme 5-lipoxygenase, the same pathway targeted by modern anti-inflammatory drugs. Clinical trials show effectiveness comparable to pharmaceutical interventions for inflammatory bowel disease, osteoarthritis, and asthma, but without side effects. Traditional preparation: steep a small piece of food-grade frankincense resin in cold water overnight, drink in the morning on an empty stomach. The Magi understood value. What they brought was medicine. 11. Myrrh tonic, the antiseptic of the ancient world. They offered him wine mixed with myrrh. Mark 15:23. That myrrh appears at the beginning and end of Jesus' life, brought as a gift at his birth, offered in wine at his crucifixion, in every instance functioning as medicine. Myrrh resin contains sesquiterpenes with documented antiseptic, anti-inflammatory, and antimicrobial properties. Egyptian medical texts over 3,000 years old list myrrh for wound care, oral infections, and digestive complaints. Modern studies confirm broad-spectrum antibacterial and antifungal activity, effectiveness against certain gut parasites. The bitterness is intentional. Bitter compounds stimulate digestive enzyme production and bile flow. Traditional preparation: a small amount of food-grade myrrh tincture in warm water with honey, or steep a small piece of resin in hot water for 20 minutes. 12. Ginger and honey brew, the anti-inflammatory fire drink. Ginger moved through ancient trade routes for thousands of years, prized as spice, medicine, and currency. Modern research on ginger is among the most impressive in food pharmacology. Gingerols and shogaols reduce inflammatory markers including CRP and TNF-alpha. Studies demonstrate ginger is as effective as ibuprofen for menstrual pain. It reduces nausea in chemotherapy patients, pregnant women, and post-surgical recovery. It stimulates digestive enzyme production and has direct antimicrobial effects. Combined with raw honey, you have one of the most therapeutically complete hot drinks ever created. Traditional preparation: grate a thumb of fresh ginger into 2 cups of water. Simmer 15 to 20 minutes. Strain, cool slightly, then stir in a tablespoon of raw honey. Never add honey to boiling liquid. 13. Raisin water, the forgotten liver tonic. They gave him a piece of a cake of raisins. 1 Samuel 30:12. Soaking raisins overnight and drinking the water creates one of the most effective traditional liver tonics ever used. Raisin water concentrates tartaric acid and potassium bitartrate from grape skins, compounds that stimulate bile production and support liver enzyme activity involved in detoxification. Studies show improvements in liver function markers. The natural sugars combined with fiber compounds provide energy with moderated glycemic response. Raisins are a significant source of iron, a traditional remedy for iron deficiency anemia for centuries. Traditional preparation: soak 2 tablespoons of organic dark raisins in 2 cups of water overnight, 8 to 12 hours. Extrain and drink the liquid on an empty stomach before breakfast. 14. Hyssop Cleansing Drink, the drink that made kings clean. Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow. Psalm 51:7. David wrote this after his deepest moral failure. When he reached for an image of cleansing powerful enough to match his guilt, he reached for hyssop. Consumed daily as a lung tonic, sinus cleanser, and antimicrobial protocol, hyssop contains carvacrol, thymol, pinocamphone, and isopinocamphone, a concentrated cocktail of volatile oils among the most powerful natural antimicrobials ever studied. Clinical studies show direct antiviral activity. Expectorant compounds actively break up and mobilize mucus from bronchial passages and sinuses, making it uniquely effective for chronic respiratory conditions and post-viral congestion. Traditional preparation: steep 1 tablespoon of dried hyssop in 2 cups of cold water for 8 hours. Cold infusion preserves volatile compounds. Heat destroys. Strain, warm very gently, never boil. Add raw honey and lemon. Drink morning and evening for 7 to 10 days during illness or seasonal transitions. 14 drinks. Thousands of years of use. Centuries of accumulated wisdom we nearly threw away in the rush to replace everything ancient with something manufactured. Quality matters enormously. The difference between raw honey in warm water and processed honey in hot water is the difference between living medicine and sweet liquid that does nothing. Drop a comment and tell me which drink you're making first. If ancient people drinking frankincense elixir or hyssop cleansing drinks hits differently now, share this with someone who needs to hear it. If you haven't subscribed to Harvest and Health yet, hit that button now and ring the bell. We're here every week.